Eastern Washington sheriffs who are speaking out against new state gun laws continues to grow tonight. Initiative 1639 puts more restrictions on gun ownership. And while many sheriffs say they won't enforce the law, the Spokane County Sheriff is taking a different approach.
Putting out a letter saying that I'm not going to enforce something is empty words. There's nothing to enforce.
Well, today, Sheriff Knezovich says he is not refusing to enforce 1639. He just doesn't believe there's anything to enforce to begin with. In fact, he says other law enforcement officers are going too far by saying that they won't enforce it. So what's the difference? That's what we're trying to sort out for you tonight.
Sheriff Knezovich called a news conference today to clarify his position on 1639, accusing other sheriffs of grandstanding and making this political. 1639 passed with statewide with just under 60% of the vote, and most of eastern Washington counties voted against it. Our Hawk Hammer working for you tonight. And Hawk, you spoke to Spokane sheriffs and the sheriffs of Stephen County. This issue is more complex than a simple yes or no to enforcement.
We'll get to those differences in just a minute, Aaron, but one thing to note here is that in Spokane County, Initiative 1639 actually passed, not overwhelmingly, but it passed in Stevens County. More than 73% of voters said no. One after another now, Eastern Washington sheriffs are taking a stance.
People need to understand that even though the citizens have passed this initiative, they didn't change the Constitution of the state of Washington, and they didn't change the Constitution of the United States.
Whether or not 1639 is constitutional will eventually be decided in court, but some law enforcement officers aren't waiting for that.
I've directed my deputies to not make custodial arrests or issue citations on that.
That's the stand many others have taken firmly. We will not enforce this new law. Stevens County Sheriff Brad Menke told KXLY there are parts of the law, like the age restriction on semi-automatic rifles, that are enforceable. If he comes across someone under the age of 21 with that kind of weapon, he could arrest them if they pose imminent danger. Sheriff Knezovich, though, says the law has nothing to do with law enforcement.
1639 doesn't give a sheriff anything to do. And that's where I have problems with my peers stepping up and saying I'm not going to enforce I-1639.
Knezovich says there's enough uncertainty he's volunteered to join a federal lawsuit challenging the law altogether. He says he worries defining assault rifles in 1639 paves the way for the state to ban certain types of guns. Clearly, he opposes 1639, but he won't come out specifically and say he won't enforce it, only that he doesn't believe there's anything to enforce to begin with.
Not me having it both ways, me just being frank with you.
And there is another Eastern Washington sheriff speaking out against this, taking a little bit of a different tune. Sheriff Brian Burnett of Chelan County says he thinks 1639 is a bad law, but he doesn't think it's his place as a sheriff to stand up and say whether it's unconstitutional or not. We'll continue to follow this. Reporting live, I'm Hawk Hammer at KXLY 4 News.